Okay, so let's start our journey. We have completed this thing. We have gone through the introductions. We have downloaded the trial version. We have activated as well. So now we have the full-fledged working MS Project copy on our local on my laptop, and that same we will use for this entire training session. Let's move to the next one. Let's create a sample project. So here if you see that if you go to the new project or something new, you will see a lot of predefined template is already available. So you can choose any predefined template, like it has a software development plan which is very much details. If you are in software development, then I think better to use this one because this contain all those artifacts or all those scopes and everything which is required for any project management, for a software project management. It has all this pre-built, it's complete, a full-fledged working template. See here it says the scope analysis, design, development, testing, training, documentation, and everything which is required for any project management. So this is one of the best template available. You need not to worry about multiple things. You just what missing. It includes nearly everything which is required for the MS project. It also have the dependency created already and the ownership. But for this training purpose, I'm not going to use this plan. I will go ahead and use a very simple project plan just because we are not going to although this is a good template, but it requires a lot of time. So I'm not going to this one. So I'm going to use another project, which is a very simple project. And if you scroll down and then see here, simple project plan. So I will use this one because it is a very simple project plan. And if you want so to use this template, then you can use template. But let me copy this task only and just copy. Let me create a new. Let us start from the blank project, not for any existing. I'm just copying for the task purpose. So these are some of the tasks we have created. Or if you want, then you can create something. Let me delete this one and create the new directly. Let me create a blank project and start the software itself. Though the very first thing will be scope definition. The second activity will be design, design, then development, then unit testing, then informal testing, then formal testing. Formal testing means validating your project against a standard environment. Let me put something else, validation. Then closing documents, then release notes and release product. You are free to use anything what you want to do, but these are some of the major steps which we normally use for any software project. Now let's look at some of the already predefined features and some of the columns name and try to understand what does it mean. The very first thing, see the task mode. Task mode, it says something question marks and a drop in. It means these are not defined that all uh, if you are creating any task, then how it will be scheduled. So here if you see that it has the two options, either manually selected or automatically selected. So for I would always suggest that go ahead and create the manual always use auto schedule until unless it is something where you need to schedule manually. So if you are doing the auto scheduling of your project, it is always had some advantage that you need not to worry about the time zone, start date, end date, and anything. So once you create the dependency, once you connect everything, then everything will be automatically done. So here if you see that I have set all the project as a auto schedule. Even if you see here there is one a small icon over on the top one. So if you click here, it give two option, auto schedule or manual schedules. So if you click here the auto schedule on very beginning, so any of task created will be automatically, let's say that test task, and as soon as I move you will see that it automatically schedules. So this is the automatically scheduling. Let me delete this task. So this is one of the our simplest project. Now let's go ahead and use something, some more detail item in everything. Let's say the insert a row over here or insert a task in the scope definition. So let's add two tasks. Define scope and insert one more, approve scope, and make these. So we have added two more tasks here. So let's select this one and make these tasks as a subtask of the scope definition activity. So for that, if you want to create any task or if you want to make that any task as a subtask, just select that task, click on this icon, and it will automatically create the subtask. So telling these two and clicking on this arrow, and you must have noticed. Let me do the back. See here, click here, and you will see that it added some indent, and the top level is highlighted. It means that these two tasks are now subtasks of the scope definitions. Similarly, you can go ahead and create task for design as well, like create design doc, approve design doc, and in the similar way make these tasks as a subtask. Similarly, on the development side, set up code and tools, development, make these two as well as a subtask. Unit testing, let's say deploy code to dev, and second one unit testing, or if you want then see task is just for randomly you can choose anything. It's not, I'm not following any standard terminology or standard from any software industry. Like mostly the unit testing is done on the developer machine itself. So for that I'm not using. My purpose is just to see that how the unit testings and just to introduction of this MS project and how you can create. Similarly, you can go ahead and create for the informal testing, like informal testing, then bug rage or report bug during informal testing, insert one more row, then retest. Make these as a subtask, forget about those spelling and other thing. You can make change it later on, like a retest. Similarly, for the formal testing are normally done in a validated environment. Validated environment means predefined and approved environment. Approved environment means it has some specific tools installed there, specific configurations, and some environment variable set. So let first thing first, let deploy the code to while environment and then do the formal testing. So formal testing means you are executing the code, your predefined test cases. Normally, all the developer or all the testing team must have created some predefined test cases, and those test cases are already approved. So those already pre-approved test cases need to be executed against them in a standard validated environment. Once validation is complete, let's close the document. It means approved, approve those executed test cases. And if you want, then you can add some other task like create release notes, and here similarly make these things as well as a subtask of the closing document. You can add as many as subtask if you want. And again, let's approve release note. Let's remove this. Let's keep these as a subtask directly. So this is one of the sample project plan we have created, and this can be used. And I think this is sufficient for any some smaller project. So let's move to the next step, and